Hello, Bob here. Exercises for Seniors presents the side plank. Yes, this is another wonderful exercise for all people who want to be healthy because it incorporates so many muscle groups into its performance. For example, your core muscles like your transverse abdominis muscle that goes around your middle, close to your spine for stability. Your glute muscles, all three of them, the medius and the minimus and the maximus. Your quads and your hamstrings, your internal and external obliques that run along the sides of your body, and your low back for sure. Well, of course your shoulders too, and your arms, but your low back for sure. Because this is the way Stuart McGill wants you to maintain a healthy back, by doing this exercise, along with the pointer dog and that one called the scale, or the pancake where you're lying on your back. So this is one of Stuart McGill's exercises too. So the first thing you're going to do is put some pressure on your forearm here, where your elbow is below your shoulder. And then you're going to stack your legs, one on top of the other. So if you look from your shoulder down past your hips to your knees to your toes, it's one long straight line. And then take the top foot and put it over top of the bottom foot. And you're going to be picking up your hips off the floor. So you want to be able to use both feet and the sides of your feet and your forearm to help you get those hips up, along with all those other muscles that I mentioned. And your hand too. You might want to put your hand here and push down with your hand, push down with your forearm, and push down with the bottom of your legs to lift your hip up. Okay? And that's basically it. You've got your hip in the air. You might not need this arm here, so if you don't, put it straight overhead. Shoulders are lined up with the elbow, which is on the ground, and your hips are in the air. 3, 2, 1, and come down. It's very important, though, that you keep your line very straight from your shoulder, hips, knees to feet. So I'm going to shuffle my legs back a little bit. Maybe I'll just slide this way a little bit more for you to see. Okay? So everything's very straight here. I'm going to lift my hips up with all those muscles I mentioned at the beginning. Breathe normally. You might want to try a deep breath before you lift your hips up and blow out on the way up, and then lower yourself down slowly, have a little rest, and do it again. See if you can do 10 of them at your own pace, of course, and then flip over and do the other side. Just make sure that when you're in the air like this, with your hips up, that you're not forward like this and not way back there. You're in a nice straight line. And that will really, really, really make your low back as strong as you can possibly get it with the help of these side muscles, these obliques. Okay, that's 3, 2, 1, and down. If that's just way too hard for you, way too hard, use this hand, just come up and go down, and come up and go down. So maybe take a deep breath in, blow out, and come down. Breath in. But remember, the top leg is over top of the bottom, and they're both feet. You're on the sides of them, and you're pushing down with the hand too, with the arm too, and you're lifting your hips up as high as you can get them, but not forward and not back, in a nice straight line, and come down. Yes, it's a lot of work for your shoulders, but it's a lot of work for your whole body because it's so wonderful for your low back. Okay? So that's the side plank. There's lots of different ways to do it. That's the way I'd like you to get to eventually. Some people, before I sign off here, they take their legs and they bend them at the knees. They're still in a nice straight line from the knee, hip to the shoulder, right? And then they lift their hips up, and it's not quite as hard. So that might be where you might want to start. Have fun. The side plank It made it into the top 10.